So now before adding more details in this, I'm going to do the retopology so that I can add the final details without any problem. So before doing that, I will first create the cavity of the mouse. So in case we want to open his mouth, it will be easy for us. So I'm just going to select and I will go to the poly groups and will click on group mask. So this will actually make a separate group of these selected polygons, and I can actually hide them, unhide them, and mask them with ease. So you can see that. Group mask. So in this way you can see the creature has divided into two groups. I can add more groups as per need. So first I will just hide this lower jaw, and you can see we need to create the cavity here. So the best thing would be, so there are a couple of ways we can actually do. One most simple way is we can simply move it a bit. So we can simply move down, and we'll dynamesh it, and then we'll start pushing the details inside. One more thing I'm going to change, that my polygon count is quite high, so this is also slowing down my machine. So I will reduce the dynamesh resolution and will again drag so that the new dynamesh will have a little less resolution. As you can see, previously these points were 1.3, more than 3 million. Now these are turned into half, so this will be more manageable. Let's do one thing. Actually, we can, for now we can separate this part. I think I got a better idea. So instead of doing this way, we'll have to do a lot of adjustment. I will go to the timestamp and we'll go to the history. First I will reduce the dynamesh so that I can get better resolution. Okay, this is better. Now I will select it, so turn this perspective off. So when you want to select an creature and or any object from the side, so always make sure to turn this off, else perspective mode is on and it won't look in complete orthogonic perspective. So now you can see I have selected, then I can just turn it on and we'll click on split. So what I did, I just split the mask point. So now I have these two different subtools, so I can just hide one and create the cavity. Yeah, and I think this will be more cleaner way and manageable way we can actually maintain it. So let me just continue with this. Don't worry, this looks a bit horrible, but this will work. And this method is far more simpler and easy to understand. That's why I recommended that let's do it in this way. Also, there are many other ways we can perform the same action. So you can actually do it on your way also if you're comfortable. I'm just reducing the thickness of lips. Okay, well and good. And now I will just click on this lower lip, and you can see here I also need to make the cavity so that lower lip can fit. So now lower lip is also defined, and together actually we can merge them again. But before doing that, I need to just keep it a bit open, else while we merge and press on dynamesh, this will be again become a closed surface. That's why. So we'll click on it and we'll move. And I think this is time to merge them. So here merging object works like if you want to merge these two objects, so select on the top one and it merges on downwards. So I've selected the head, and now when I click on merge, it works as merge down. So here we'll press dynamesh. Now you can see when I did dynamesh, my polygroups has been gone, but I have a better idea. So I will just first select everything. We'll turn off the perspective mode so that I can select the side view very easily. Alright, this is it. We'll click on polygroups and press group masked. So now this has masked, and now I will click on this and name it group masked. So now there are two polygroups. And now I can actually inspect the overall mesh, that is it connecting properly or not. So you can see here is the problem. If somehow I can show you what I want to say, so I will turn off the symmetry. I just want to show you one side, and you can see the problem. So here actually this cavity is need to be enhanced like this. Now sometimes actually you want to hide some area, and I think the best way is simply click Control Shift. So you will be selecting the isolation mode. Here you can actually isolate selected part and hide other things. So now you can see I can just see focus on this part. Now I can actually move them. So I'm actually just improving the mouth cavity so it just looks a bit better, natural way. right now this looks quite messy, and that's actually I just want to avoid. uh, for now you can see that I can see this side of the polygons, but I cannot see the other side. So the reason for this is, your by default in ZBrush, the display in the display properties, it is it is shown as a single side. So basically you see only one side of surface to just help. But if you need, you can click on double sided and you will be able to judge that okay, how your topology is going on, and you can work on this. Now this is clearly very easy for me to judge it. Now I'm just moving it. I'm just making it more easy and prominent. And I think this side is corrected. I will switch to the other side. So when you're done with that and you want this part to hide and other part to be seen, simply press Control click, Control Shift, and then drag outside. So it will just reverse the models. It will just reverse the model visibility, and now you can actually see the hide part. Okay, now we can see. I'm just going to turn on the transparency mode, but actually transparency mode works when there are two objects selected. So here we'll have to judge by simply over. Let's see if we can get through inside. Quite quite sorted. I can do one thing for now because it's still not very much visible. I will click on the jaw, and now we'll move it a bit down. So what actually it help, it will just open the mouth a bit more, so I can just adjust the imperfection that's already being present, and later on we can actually just correct it. Now it is, I can see inside the mouth and fix. I can now fix the details. I'm just trying to smooth. So this can be corrected. So I'm adjusting the face where all the lips just connects and make the joint. So I'm just trying to fix this thing, and hopefully this should be good to go. Okay, one more thing is to note, sometimes when you sculpt, some surface becomes too thin. Just like if you can notice, this part has become too thin and I want to make it bold. So you can simply click on inflect brush. You can select from here also. You will find this brush here in this palette. So sometimes if you can't find, the shortcut is press the initials of brush. Just like if it is an inflate brush, to press I. So it will just sort out all the brushes that starts with the name, with the first letter I, right? So if you want to select a clay brush, so simply click on C. So click on C and it will just sort all the brushes that name starts with the letter C. So I hope this will be very handy, and I'm just turning on the back face mask, so in case I don't accidentally push the details on the other side. And most important is to just remember to save the files, because if you do not save and if Zbrush crash, so you may lose some work, and that is not a good situation. So remember to save your files in a specific interval of time. I recommend to save the file every half an hour, or let's say 15 minutes. Now I think we are good. So what I'm going to do, I just want to do retopology, and There is a one shortcut that actually can help here. So I will go and click on the geometry, and here is the options that is Z remeasure. And this is most powerful tool in the ZBrush. So basically with some change in settings, some tweaks in settings, you can actually get the desired result you are looking for. Make sure you click on freeze border. So what actually it does, it just retains the shape while reducing the polygons, as well as click on the legacy 2018. For some reason Z remeasure in the 2020 version is sometimes gives some error. That's why I click on legacy 2018 and then click on Z remeasure. So it will calculate the surface, and based on the target polygon count what I have set, it will distribute the polygons to get the maximum benefit of that. So it just remembers, and this is a very smart tool, so it just remembers where to add the more polygons, and it also keeps in mind that where to reduce the polygons. So for example, these there is more details in on the eye side and near the face, so it just adds the more detail. On the ears it has just added the detail. Alright, so I think we can also improve a bit. There is a one more way. So our flow is quite correct, but I want to have more polygons here on the ears and the nose area. So I'm gonna do, there is another way is to use polypaint. So what actually happens when you click on use polypaint? So you work on two colors, one is red and another is blue. Alright, so I will just turn off the Z add and will focus on the RGB mode to see the colors. And now actually I will paint the color. I'm just turning on the RGB mode. So red means you want to add the more number of polygons there. So that's why paint the areas where you want to increase the polygon density, just like near eye side, near the nose, along the wrinkles. Along here where we have just added the folds. And then when I'm satisfied with this, you can paint the blue. So blue actually what it just tells that you want to keep the polygon density low in these areas. So what actually does is then smartly distributes the polygons as we specify. That's how we can actually use the polygons in a more efficient way. Wherever it is needed, we can just add. Like on the back side, on the skull area, on the top side, we don't need that much of polygons, so that's why I'm just reducing the polygons. Here we just need that much of polygons. Okay, I'm turning off the RGB mode, clicking on the Z add. I just noticed then I have not fixed this thing up. So I'm just doing it. and it's good. So now this time again go to the geometry, and as I have clicked on the use polypoint, now when I click on Z remeasure, it will remember that where I have specified to add the more pixels, more number of polygons, and where I have specified to keep the less number of pixel density. So it will calculate it. So there are some hit and try, so you will have to just play with the settings and see that what results best suits you. And just to give you an idea, you can see we got the exactly desired result we wanted. We got more polygons here, we got more polygons on the nose, on the side wrinkles, and we got some excessive polygons on the ears, because we had very high intensity, color intensity on the ears. I think we can play with the settings a bit more. I will click on it and click on the RGB. I'm turning off the Z-Ed. Remember, whenever you do poly painting, just turn off the Z-Ed, else you will be changing the also sculpting it. So that's why. I'm first selecting the white color. So now the polygons will be increased on the around edges, and they will have normal pixel density on this side. I think this is better. Now I can again click and see how does it gives the result. You may need to wait for few seconds till your computer calculates the polygons and the distribution of the polygons across the surface. And I think this time we got the results we wanted. Okay, this is better. Now we are good. Now remember one more thing is that when we do retopology, so it actually we use Z remeasure, it just actually modifies the existing selected subtools. So I will make a copy for that. So when actually when I just do the use the remeasure, so I will have one backup copy that has high poly details, and that I can actually project into the chimp low poly version. So just wait for a few seconds and it should be done. So then we can get a clean mesh that is good to work with. Right, so I will just rename this layer. This time I will name it head Z remesh. So I will remember that, okay, I have just done a Z remesh here. Or I can just rename it head retopo. So it will be easy to remember. Now I will just delete all this color information by simply click on the white color. Now you can see, because I have painted some details, I select, no matter what color I select, it is not now showing here. So I will click on the colors and I want to fill one color all across the body. So we'll click on that color and click fill object, and it will be just clear all this thing. Okay, now you can see we have two versions. One is Retopo and another is head. So I will click on the head. I will just subdivide it, go to geometry and click on divide. Then go to the project and then click on project all. I don't want to project the colors, that's why I'm clicking on only geometry. And you can see the difference. I'm just turning off this. This is your selected head red topo, and this is your alright. So if you want to compare it, simply go one step back. I have projected the details from the high poly to this one, and you can see it has projected very well. Now I'm going to subdivide again. The shortcut for subdividing is Ctrl D, and will project the details again. So we'll click on the head retopo. And one thing to note, very important, that you need to select the subtool where you want to project the details, and the subtools just above that subtool is the source of all this information. So like here in the head retopo, the details are being projected from this layer because this is just above it and it is visible. Alright, so I have just increased the subdivision level, and I will click again on project all. Let me see, this is better. One more time, subdivide it and project all. Now you can see our model has become a high poly, and we have projected all the details from our previous object here, right? So now we can actually keep adding the high poly and high quality skin details here, and then our low poly structure is also integrated. Like we can actually we can go to the subdivision level 1 and export this low poly model for UV on the Maya, and then we can keep working on the high poly model here and create the normal maps. So that was the retopology in the ZBrush. That should be enough, and I will see you in the next video.